Supposedly, most documentary film crews use these G3s to record audio from their subjects. We've rewired them to play a little bit of Franco music.
So we're going out to meet Erik, who we know is a little bit scared. He's never dealt with a crew that can make monkeys faint before, and everybody on the crew has made a monkey faint at least once, and in public. So we're gonna go out there, we're gonna take Erik by the throat, we're gonna show him exactly what we do, while he shows us the magic that is Erik Almås.
Welcome to RGG EDU.
We have traveled to San Francisco. We've packed up a ton of people and a ton of equipment to work with Erik to go to some of the most amazing locations that he's found and he's scouted over the last few years.
Over the next 10 days, we're going to be following Erik on 4 different photo shoots to see his thought process, see how he deals with models, see how he builds his landscapes, and to really get into his mind on the entire process of how he creates his images.
Day number 2, we actually met in Erik's studio for a little bit. We first grabbed a cup of coffee and sat down and reviewed the script. And then we were able to get into it. We were up on Erik's 3rd floor, very stark and white with great pictures, and we just kind of went through the entire first day's worth of production.
I'm a photographer drawn to big moments and big spaces and apply that in a quiet manner.
So we're in Erik Almås' studio. We're getting ready to shoot a couple scenes for his intro segments. We've got the Kessler CineDrive set up here with the C100, and we're going to do a series of clips that we can then composite later. We can do repeatable moves with this CineDrive unit, so we're going to run it once with all the camera operators as well as Erik staged in this scene. And we're being very meticulous about how we place everybody so that they're in separate parts of the frame, because then we can repeat that shot with no one in the scene, and then in the edit we can very easily mask around each person and bring them in one at a time in a really cool edit.
Two of the backplates for this shoot are in Bishop, California, which is about 8 hours east of San Francisco.
Bishop is this place that Erik had picked out. He's been wanting to photograph it for quite some time, and the sun was just dropping in the west and it was kind of raking across. And he did it in a couple of different ways, where he had his camera there and he shot for the light raking across the mountains when it was really nice. And as it dropped a little bit lower, it came nicer into the trees, so he grabbed that.
Oh, I love it. I mean, look at it. Yeah, it's beautiful, just beautiful.
Yesterday we woke up at around 3:30 to be out on location at 5. We were up on the bluffs looking west into the Sierra Nevadas.
Huge vista, and as that sun just started to come up, pushing up into the sky and then pushing that soft light down, we were ready. We were able to capture Erik making his magic, and it was a great morning.
As a European, we've always been fascinated with the American West and the cowboys and that story. So I put a guy there in this big Western landscape, but it's really me. It's me looking out, wondering where to go and what lies ahead for me.
So the place presented some challenges for us as well, because we were on the edge of the cliff. It was very, very rocky, not easy to get to, and we had everybody with all the equipment. So we had to be careful where we positioned everybody. Erik was actually right on the edge of the cliff a good portion of the time, which meant that Our camera B was kind of behind him, also on the edge of the cliff. So we had to be careful where everybody was, making sure that nobody stepped off the edge and went the wrong way, or even just tripped or twisted an ankle on something.
We scheduled the shoot just how a commercial shoot with Erik would have gone, and we wanted to cram 4 of these shoots in about 10 days of production, which is pretty typical of Erik, and we did that because we wanted to see how he dealt with the problems and the issues that he normally deals with on a commercial set.
Lovely, okay, beautiful.
We're currently doing a backup. We're using these newer rugged ATC drives from G Technologies. They're both 1 terabyte, they're both Thunderbolt. So this is the actual drive that always stays inside this case. It's somewhat shock-proof, but just in case a bag does get dumped in the water, you do drop it, there is an added layer of protection. It's important when you're putting this much time and effort into a production that you protect your most important asset on set. So at the end of the day, we have 3 copies that go with 3 different people in 3 different cars. So no matter what, we have copies and everything is backed up. I thought he was just gonna have us, like me specifically, just lift the back end and hold it up, but
Yeah, but then who would shoot your camera?
exactly, this is way easier. I've always been a big fan of his work, so to now see him work throughout the entire day to create 1 image, it's really quite amazing.
This really funky warehouse. This place has got so many crazy things in it. Right now he's in the middle of kind of turning this into more of a story, adding a little bit of a fashion element to it. He's going for several shots that he could attach to the car crash. So he could blow up the car crash into a singular story. Could run for several pages in a magazine if they choose to do so.
Erik's crew is setting up what they need to recreate the light for the car shot. This is the car that's going to be photoshopped into the scene earlier.
I'm excited. And Jaren's here too.
We brought pieces from the forest itself to help his blending elements. Erik built an entire background, so it was really interesting for me to see his creative process and also the technical side of what he needs to do to achieve the easiest elements for post-production.
So we just wrapped up another day with Erik. This one was a long one and a hard one just to get basically 1 shot because the place is so tight. We've got, I think, 21, 22 people in a really small space, and we have been doing this dance all day around each other. It's kind of nuts. So we were literally trying to move around each other. Everybody has equipment. I mean, we have 5 cameras ourselves, and then his whole crew and all their lights and hair and makeup and wardrobe. One of the things that was particularly tough for us today was staying out of each other's eye lines. Camera shots. We had a really hard time setting up our camera positions because the rooms were so small. And we're trying to get 3 camera angles plus BTS, plus have everybody in there.
Just let him try a few where you lean over more, and let's see if we could do something this way. Beautiful. I like this.
Every day on Erik Almås' shoot, we've been rolling 5 C100s, 2 5Ds, 1 60D, and 2 GoPro Hero 4s. So by the end of the day, we just have a massive amount of media that needs to be backed up. We really like using these G Studio 6 terabyte drives. They go in RAID 0, which is really great for us because it's incredibly fast, Basically, we have 2 drives in here and it's writing to both of them at the same time. We like that because it's the quickest way to offload all of our media so we can start formatting cards and shoot the next day.
We're shooting the last image where the wise old man is kind of showing Erik the way, showing him his future. There's a life ahead. With the woman with the beautiful flowing dress that's going to be dropped into the backplate that was shot several days ago in Bishop, which is really kind of cool. You think about it. Erik is shooting these in totally separate locations. I mean, we're 400 miles from where we were, where the backplate was shot. But he's going to shoot the foreground with the talent and drop them in, and it will look absolutely seamless. It's just going to have such a drama to it. It's really going to be cool.
Kim looks back over her shoulder, exactly, and you just be stoic and you ride that thing. That's right. I love it. Yes. 1, 2, and woo! Nice.
This image in particular is going to be super striking. I just can't wait to see the final result. Better, way better. Yeah, boom, cut.
I think the most challenging aspect of this shoot is the long hours. We have a crew of 8 people, we have 6 cameras, and we have about 18-hour days every day.
I'm camera C on the shoot with Erik Almås here in San Francisco. Primarily what I'll be doing is trying to make sure that...
Oh, hey, were you filming?
No. So this is Gary.
Filming?
No.
Are you guys filming? Are you guys
You
rolling?
should probably film.
I'm camera C. So I'm typically on the 70 to 200 and I'm kind of staying for close-ups, a lot of cutaways, reaction shots.
I am the B-cam operator on this shoot. Basically, I'm covering medium close-ups of Erik to cut from the A-cam, which is Gary, who is generally pretty wide. From time to time, I run a few trailer shots, which are just more cinematic shots that we can throw into the trailer, really capturing Erik's lighting setups, using his light that he already set for our video.
Pretty much every day I have to be awake before everyone else, be ready with a camera, and that also means I'm the last one to pack up because I'm shooting the rest of the crew packing up. My responsibilities also include getting the CineDrive going, getting time lapses in some of the scenic areas that we have to go to, getting shots with the Ronin, fly-through shots, and I also have to go around and do interviews with the crew.
All the call sheets say that I'm the director and in charge of script, which sounds cool, but I have been a coat rack, I've been a gopher, I've been a note taker. I kind of do everything, but mostly my job is to direct and make sure that we're getting all the info that we need out of Erik. I'm constantly cruising around with a slate in my hand, just making sure that I change the scene so that all the cameras know what scene and what take they're on. It makes it a lot easier for us in post-production, obviously. It's always fascinating to watch somebody else's process, particularly a guy like Erik Almås, whose talent is kind of insane. I've learned a lot, quite frankly. It's really been interesting and amazing to see his whole process.
It's been an amazing 2 weeks, and I am so excited to start putting this documentary about Erik Almås together.
We've really had an amazing time going all over Northern California to some pretty special locations to capture some images that are really unique. I think that this tutorial is going to give people an amazing insight to the mind and the workflow of Erik Almås.